Donald Trump just lost the tariff war. Tariffs were supposed to save the American economy and force other nations to buy more from the United States. But here we are, 1 year later. Other countries not only just not buying more from the United States, but rather they're building closer ties with the United States and ditching the US dollar. But that's just the beginning, because what is about to happen is a lot worse than most people imagine. Donald Trump justified the tariffs by claiming that other nations are not buying from the United States as much as the United States is buying from these countries. But what if I told you that is not true? What if I told you that the United States was the ultimate beneficiary from the free trade, and these free trade agreements allowed the United States companies to dominate the rest of the world, which was the main reason why the United States economy is the world's largest economy. Take an example of Amazon. Amazon is a US company and makes hundreds of billions of dollars by selling to the United States. However, Amazon also dominates the European market, the UK market, and Canada, and many other nations. But it's not directly selling from the United States to the European Union. But rather, Amazon creates a subsidiary in the EU, so there is something called Amazon EU, Amazon UK, Amazon Canada, and it sells hundreds of billions of dollars worth of products in these countries. The only question is that what is going to happen to the profits? The profits will come back to the United States in form of return on investment. Or maybe Amazon is going to lease its intellectual property to Amazon Canada, and Amazon Canada is going to pay hundreds of billions of dollars in royalties to the United States. So Amazon United States is the ultimate beneficiary. So Amazon makes hundreds of billions of dollars across the globe. That money will come back to the United States, will be spent in the United States. And if you spend that money in the United States, it is going to grow the US GDP. But that money is also going to be reinvested back in the United States. So better technologies will be built in the United States, which will keep the US company to dominate that sector. But if you pull out the US trade balance, you won't actually see these transactions. And that's why the United States has a trade balance with so many countries and is buying far more than it's selling to other nations. Because most of that money comes back to the United States in form of return to investments or the profits that these companies have made outside the United States. So the United States is literally the ultimate beneficiary of the free trade agreements, and these free trade agreements is what allows the United States to dominate these markets. Take an example of tech sector. The entire European Union uses Apple, Microsoft, and Tesla, but Apples are not being sold, or iPhones are not being built in the United States and sent to European Union, but rather they're designed in the United States, manufactured in China, and then shipped to the European Union. And you can claim that it is China that is actually profiting out of this transaction, which is actually true to a certain extent. But at the end of the day, the profits will come back to the United States, and it's the American company that will be able to reinvest that money back in the United States, grow the American economy. But if you look at the trade balance, you won't actually see these numbers. The exact same thing applies to Microsoft, Tesla. Tesla manufactures its EVs in the European Union, but the profits ultimately will come back to the United States. This exact framework allows the United States to dominate the financial markets, which is why companies such as Visa and MasterCard completely dominate the entire European and the British and the Canadian markets. That allows US banks to be the most dominant players, and every single payment system such as PayPal that also dominate these markets. The same terminology applies to all other industries, including media. But what is happening right now is that European countries now want to create an alternative to Visa and MasterCard because the United States is weaponizing trade. It is weaponizing tariffs. What if the United States tomorrow no longer wants us to use Visa? Are European countries capable to build an alternative to Visa? Well, of course they can do that, but it is going to create a real competition for the United States. Up until now, they could easily rely on the United States, but because now the United States is literally forcing these countries to sign deals that are really bad for them, even though that the United States was the ultimate beneficiary from these free trade agreements, They have to act and they have to create systems alternative to the United States. What is going to happen in 3 to 5 years to Visa and MasterCard? Now they will face a very serious competition in the European Union. And when you have one company dominates the European markets, what is going to happen to it? It is going to come to the United States and compete with Visa and MasterCard in the United States. It will compete with American companies in every single country across the globe. And the payment system Visa and MasterCard is just one example. The same thing could happen to smartphones, computer chips, tech companies, financial sector, media and entertainment, you name it. EU also signed a free trade agreements with India, which they call it the largest free trade agreement you can possibly imagine. Canada signed a $1 trillion deal with China. UK is resetting trade relationships with China. The UK had very hostile relationship with China, and over the last 8 years the relationship, especially when it comes to trade, were deteriorating. But now the Prime Minister of the UK visits China and signs a very good trade deal with them. EU also have signed a free trade agreement with South American countries to boost the trade between these two continents. The EU has also created a framework for a deal with Indonesia. So maybe sometime in the future there could be a free trade agreement between Indonesia and the European Union. And all of this has happened in one single year. Usually this is supposed to take decades for this to happen. However, because of Trump's tariffs, all these countries are quickly ditching the United States and are moving away and are diversifying their trade partners. But wait a second, look at the US economy. It is not crushing. In fact, the US economy is thriving. The GDP last year was 2%, and I mean the real GDP growth. Inflation is falling down. The labor market is very strong. Why don't we see the impact of that on the economy? The reality is that these trade agreements don't actually happen instantly. You're not going to see the impact of these agreements the next day. It is going to take some time. For example, when they develop their payment system that is alternative to Visa and MasterCard, that might happen in a year, by the end of 2026 or maybe 2027. And that's when the competition is going to happen. In 5 years from now, because they're signing trade agreements with India and China, American companies will face a very fierce competition in 3 to 5 years in the European Union. So the implications of these free trade agreements don't actually happen instantly. It is most likely going to happen during the next president of the United States. If you look at the US history, the United States has always thrived on the global trade. What makes the US economy the most powerful economy is not because the United States has isolated itself, but rather the United States is trading with other nations. Back during the 19th century, the 20th century, the United States was actively trading and selling to other nations. The only time that the United States has massively increased the tariffs was back during 1930 when Great Depression happened. President Hoover decided that in order to protect American farmers, we are going to impose tariffs on foreign products so that Americans will buy more American farmer products. But what happened in reality is that other countries have also introduced tariffs against the United States and global trade halted, which is why Great Depression became Great Depression. This could have easily been a crisis that would last 1 or 2 years, but it lasted 10 years because the United States introduced tariffs, other nations retaliated by introducing similar tariffs, and global trade stopped. And when you're thriving on a global trade and you stop the global trade, what do you think is happening to your economy? And the only reason that the United States got out of Great Depression and became the world's largest economy is because during 1940s, when the rest of the world was fighting one another, the United States was trading. It was selling to the UK, to the Soviet Union, to the rest of the European countries. If the US had such bad trade agreements since 1945, why is the United States the world's largest economy? Why US companies dominate the entire world? Why McDonald's is literally in every single city in the world? Why Coca-Cola is recognized in every single village in the world? Why do you think the US economy became the world's largest economy and it has been growing so insanely fast since 1945? Maybe because these free trade agreements are much more beneficial to the United States. For example, it allows the US dollar to be the global reserve currency, so it allows the United States to borrow as much money as it wants. So the United States right now has almost $40 trillion of debt. Do you think there is any other country on the entire world can afford a $40 trillion debt? Just imagine for a moment if the European Union had so much debt. What is going to happen to the European Union? What is going to happen to China if it had so much debt? But you can only have the global reserve currency when you do global trade. It is literally called global reserve currency. Other countries are holding your currency. The world is clearly changing and we are entering into a completely new world order. The only beneficiaries and the winners of this new world order are going to be the people who will be investing in the right assets, while everybody else is going to lose. Even look at the US economy. The top 20% of Americans who are actually investing in the stock market, they're actually thriving. They're making more money than ever, while the bottom 80% of Americans are actually struggling because they haven't been investing all this time. So if you haven't started investing yet and you want a step-by-step strategy, then check out the Investing Academy. The link is in the description.